What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is Awesome. I'm broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one, because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is Monday. That's right. It's Monday News Day, folks. It is Monday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Coming to you live from stolen land, stolen Tongva land here in Los Angeles, California. Also, Tom Steyer's team, or Tom Steyer himself, probably his team, sent me Clash Traitor hats, and I don't know how to feel about that. On the one hand, I'm like, bro, like, you're supposed to be the Clash Trader. On the other hand, I'm like, does he think I'm a Clash Trader? Like, I don't have it like you do, big dog. Like, what the fuck? At least he likes Deng Xiaoping. So, fool, you are the petit bourgeoisie. He thinks you're a millionaire with passive income. I don't have any passive income. The Piker Broadcasting Service, also known as the People's Broadcasting Service, is sponsored by you, the people, for you, the people. Okay? This isn't like a Kai Cenat style situation where if I go away for like 8 months, there's still gonna be like, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of revenue from like, you know, 30, 40, 50,000, if not 100,000 permanent subscribers. Like, that shit don't work that way. Y'all are working class, man. He sent me 3 of these too, which is crazy. He gave me 3 of these. So like, what is he saying? He's like, oh, give it to your other rich ass homies too. This guy, he likes Deng Xiaoping, but he should like angles. Okay. He should be our angles. That's what we need from this guy. Modern day angles. That's what I like. That's what I need. He's not there, though. He's just not ideologically committed whatsoever. You're not antisocial and miserable enough to be Marx? No, I'm not. I'm not. I am a poster, but I'm not miserable enough for that, for sure. Neither am I dirty enough. Let's be real. That dude did not wash. He was under surveillance, as I'm sure I am under some semblance of surveillance as well, either by the Israeli state or by the American one at this point, I suspect, right? But my shit is so boring. One day, if there's like FOIA investigations into like what kind of notes they have for your boy, they're going to be like, this guy literally does nothing. They're going to be... the notes are going to read, he just streams all day. And then he stops streaming, eats dinner, jerks off, and passes out. This is unbelievably boring. He watches the most vanilla porn and he passes out. He's like a robot every day. It's the same shit. He wakes up in the morning, he works out. This man's life is unbelievably boring, with the exception of you know, what he's doing for a living. Yeah, I don't even listen to music. Well, the FOIA definitely won't say you game. That's for damn sure. Okay, dude. Eventually, they'll just go home and copy paste their notes over and over again to pretend they're working. Yeah. In many ways, I'm probably I am probably the perfect person to surveil for like the lazy agent, you know? What is this? You were mentioned on GEOPOLD and it threw me off, Lamau. Is this a 2-hour video on Epstein's empire? What the fuck? And it threw me off? What is this?
Fixer rich dude who roped in influential men. Ghislaine was also extremely well versed on the internet. And talking about the brain rot online connection to Epstein, I would like to make it clear how I was not on the island, okay? I don't know how many people have seen this fucking bullshit yet, but the other day, one of the biggest political commentators on the entire internet decided to imply I'm like involved with Epstein or something. Yeah, Hasan Piker, the man himself, posted
Pay close attention to who's silent about the new Epstein drops. And I took that personally. He said, bro, see, his ass felt so called out. He had to do a fucking 2-hour documentary on the Epstein leaks. That's all I'm saying. If the shoe fits.
This on X. My friend who owes me loads of money replied, GEOPOLD ... as a joke. It was a joke. It was totally a joke. Then Hasan Piker replied to him saying, that's what I'm saying! Exclamation mark. Bro! Yo! The fuck I do, bruh? What? Dude. What did I do? Let's not go there, man. Look, I was there for the free booze, okay? Nothing else. But if you see something like this, it's fake. It's AI, okay? I would never hang out with Keir Starmer, man, okay? I would never hang out with him. This photo cannot be real. I wouldn't be caught dead.
Bro felt so disturbed by the correct allegations. He had to do a 2-hour documentary on it. You see this? Do you see this? Do you see the impact? Look at that, man.
Head flicked up with Starmer, okay? Sorry, just needed to clear that one out. But look, back to the new files drop. Even if all the files were released in this manner, there is still shit we will simply never ever know. America's all
Okay, he was there for the water slides.
authorities.
Yeah, I mean he's victim aged. So Kier's not in those rooms. Kier and Elon Musk, the only two men that were so unbearable that even the international consortium of pedophiles were like, bro, you shouldn't show up. So there is also the AIPAC tweet as well. AIPAC is actively trying to minimize the threat of Nick Fuentes, a literal neo-Nazi. The idea that these fascists give literally a single fuck about the safety of American Jews is beyond laughable. AIPAC, for all the legacy media's obsessive warnings about far-right extremist Nick Fuentes, it has shown far less interest in confronting a dangerous left-wing counterpart, Hasan Piker. And it's a totally ridiculous thing to say. Hasan Piker is left's Nick Fuentes. Why do they embrace him? Opinion from USA Today, written by a person, Ingrid Jacques, who you might be shocked to find out has tweeted extensively in support of Israel. Oh, how shocking. Hasan Piker's left's Nick Fuentes, why do they embrace him? While right-wing radicals draw intense scrutiny, influential left-wing figures with extremist rhetoric are often normalized by Democrats and major media outlets. For all the legacy media's obsessive warnings about far-right extremist Nick Fuentes has shown far less interest. The New York Times columnist Michelle Goldberg has called Fuentes, a 27-year-old online influencer, a Hitler-loving white nationalist. The Times has run ominous headlines like Nick Fuentes' rise puts MAGA movement at a time of choosing. Nick Fuentes, a white nationalist problem for the right. The New Yorker's Jay Caspian warns that Fuentes is not just another alt-right boogeyman, and that the rise of white nationalist streamers should worry us even more than it already does. And the Washington Post recently opined about how Fuentes spreads hate online and fans pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars. Many of these hand-wringing pieces seek to tie Fuentes more broadly to the Republican Party and President Donald Trump's MAGA base. Perhaps it's because Nick Fuentes had dinner with Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the news media largely ignores the rise of similarly repugnant force on the left. Hasan Piker, 34, has more than 3 million followers. Piker is an anti-Zionist, capitalist-hating Marxist who appears far too comfortable with political violence so long as it serves the right cause. Yet, while mainstream conservatives have largely kept Fuentes on the fringe, Democrats and much of the media have been far more willing to embrace Piker. He was invited to be one of the creators for Kamala in 2024. This April, he also campaigned with Michigan's Democratic Senate candidate Abdul El-Sayed. The Times ran a glowing profile of Piker a year ago, headlined "A Progressive Mind and a Body Made for the Manosphere." It praised his brand of masculinity as both politically effective and a major source of his online appeal. Then this April, the Times published an interview with Piker under the headline, "The Rich Don't Play by the Rules, Why Should I?" More on this interview in a bit. Piker's growing popularity among progressives has coincided with a broader and deeply disturbing rise in left-wing tolerance for political violence. Just on April 25th, a gunman targeted President Donald Trump at the White House Correspondents' Association dinner. Hey, that gunman, for the record, had a worldview that was a lot closer to yours than mine, especially on the issue of Israel, okay? Just saying, the gunman was pro-Israel. Can't be giving that to me. Polling also suggests alarming ideological divide. After the December 2024 assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, another survey found that a shocking 41% of voters under 30 viewed his murder as acceptable. The cultural environment makes Piker's rhetoric especially concerning. On a show, he said, yeah, killed him, killed his motherfuckers, murdered his motherfuckers in the streets, blah, blah, blah. The New York Times platforms Piker's extremism. Despite Piker's long record of violent and revolutionary rhetoric, the Times has shown little hesitation in legitimizing him. In an April video conversation with the Times opinion culture editor Nadia Spiegelman and New Yorker Gia Tolentino, Piker casually joked alongside plenty of laughter about shoplifting or microlooting as a form of political protest. The premise was absurd but revealing. Yeah, perhaps that's the reason why I was joking around, because I also consider the premise to be absurd, because I don't think it's like a serious or sincere. Even more alarming was Piker's discussion about the assassination of CEO Brian Thompson. Drawing on Frederick Engels, the Marxist theorist and co-author of the Communist Manifesto, Piker invoked the concept of social murder to rationalize public sympathy for Thompson's killer. Brian Thompson was engaging in a tremendous amount of social murder. He went on to blame America's private healthcare system for the tremendous amounts of pain, that argued that this systemic suffering explained why many people immediately understood or sympathized with Thompson's death. Yeah, this is my favorite type of person, by the way. The guy who like genuinely understands the point I was making and will just openly reveal it and then still go, but it's bad that he said it. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. How is this any different than He made a good point, and I hated that. Rather than clearly condemning murder, Piker framed... I did condemn it. I did. In other words, Piker sympathized with cold-blooded murder for social reasons. Democrats and legacy media are right to call out Nick Fuentes. He deserves it, but that's no excuse for the very real extremists on the left. Yeah, so she wrote this article. AIPAC boosted it, right? Comparing me to Nick Fuentes. Here, let's take a look at Nick Fuentes. Let's take a look at what Nick Fuentes is saying.
We're already a non-white country.
I just want to... Trigger warning. Trigger warning. He will be saying the N-word with a hard R.
Country. Get a grip. Get real, bro. This is already... We already live in Mogadishu. We already live in Islamabad. Have you been outside? LA, Chicago, New York. We live in nigger hell. And that's just what... And, you know, it's what it is. I got my James Fishback. I shouldn't have said nigger hell with the quarter. I told myself before the show, I was like, don't say anything out of pocket. You're repping the campaign. I'm not on the campaign. I'm not involved, but I was like, don't say anything too crazy.
If you look at a guy like this and say that, like, wow, this guy is like basically the same as Hasan Piker, you're an insane person. Yet AIPAC is making that comparison. This author is making that comparison. Perhaps there's a reason why a lot of adults in mainstream newsrooms don't make that comparison, because that's an insane comparison to make. And it's not one that actually ends up hurting me. It's one that ends up normalizing Nick Fuentes. Said these groups openly erode our democracy for unlimited support to kill Palestinian children, and we have to act like their paid stooges in the media class have anything worthwhile to say, which most people don't. Most people don't actually see that. Most people don't actually consider that to be worthwhile anyway, but they're still chirping regardless. And the reason why they're doing it is because there's a lot of very powerful big donors that obviously care about this, and they just want to continue this media cycle over and over again with the hopes that it just it disciplines the rest of the media, or at the very least gums up the works, right? Make sure that every time I fucking have any conversations with anyone outside of my immediate circle, I have to address the same fucking 5 quotes over and over again. They also have to address it. It's a way to try and punish people. We're now on month 3 of the media cycle. The combo of Israel's committing a genocide and they criticize Israel and criticize Jewish people broadly because that many Jewish people support Israel is actually Nick Fuentes' view, widely and correctly regarded as rooted in anti-Semitism. Exactly. We don't play by these rules. We don't assume that like an entire population is in support of a country. It's just not how that goes. And you're never going to get me to agree with that statement. The other thing that, you know, I was going to present, of course, with the Nick Fuentes comparison is obviously the idea, the classic, you know, this is what it is, right? Every fucking month, every goddamn day of the week, they write this exact same shit. Israel defenders keep writing this exact same article every other week, and it goes nowhere, but someone is still invested in churning these out. We want to kill black people. We want civil rights. You're exactly the same. And then Nick Fuentes, of course, on the neo-Nazi platform goes, you abuse animals and support terrorism. There's no moral equivalency. Dude, you are a Nazi. What the fuck are you saying? Yeah, of course there's no moral equivalency between you and I. Yes, you are the bad guy. That's my point. He said you support terrorism. By the way, guy who's anti-Israel, by the way. Just think about that. Guy who seemingly is anti-Israel turning around and being like, you support terrorism. Is this y'all's favorite fucking anti-Zionist? By the way, you did do your very best not even to mention Nick by name for years in here. You called him Booger Eater for like 4 years in an attempt to stop giving him any attention. Yes, but that was a very different media environment because back then, Nick Fuentes was devoid of a platform. That is, of course, until Destiny openly offered him a platform, elevated his platform, and self-admitted, by the way, Destiny used to talk openly about how he gave a lifeline to Nick Fuentes, introduced him to all these different podcasters, reignited his career. He did that, and he has openly admitted that. So just remember that shit.